What's up, YouTube? It's QahirTheConqueror here. Welcome back to my channel for yet again another video. I would like to say, if this video helps you in any way, and if you enjoy any of this video and any of my other content in any way, please drop a like on this and subscribe to my channel. It would help me a lot and I would really appreciate it. Just to be honest, as I usually try to be, this video hits close to home because in a way I'm speaking about my former self. This message is to the people who know it all. The people who think they know everything and you can't tell them anything. Now, as a disclaimer, not in a disrespectful way, as I mentioned, I'm speaking to somebody that I once could be at times. I go back to moments where, as I mentioned in a previous video that I just released, sometimes it's good to be stubborn and delusional in order to persevere through the stuff that comes. You develop thick skin and you get tunnel vision. But at the same time, you can be too stubborn, you can be too headstrong, you can be too stuck in your ways, and then that doesn't present itself well to other people, and that can make you look and come off a certain way. I remember, and I'm not proud of it, just moments where people were trying to tell me good advice. People were trying to give me good guidance and good counsel, and people were probably looking out for my best interest. But when you, like I said, are just kind of tunnel focused on, you know, what it is that you have going on and what you think is best and things like that, like I said, it's okay because it can be helpful to you. But you don't want to just drown out everything when some of that could be sound advice. We live and we learn, and fortunately, as I mentioned, I was able to grow. And now I am striving to always be somebody that, it doesn't mean I'm just going to take anything that I hear and run with it. No, you should still do your due diligence, make discernment between whatever decisions you're going to make. Try to weigh the odds for whatever you need to do and make sure that you try to process that information. And like I said, just dissect it. And, you know, is it coming from a valid source? Is it coming from somebody that doesn't, you know, have any incentive to tell you that or anything like that? That is, like I said, not the point. But I wanted to use myself as an example first. But now, to go further, I know many people currently. I have known many people formerly that you can't tell them anything. They're a know-it-all. They know every single thing. As soon as you present some information, oh yeah, I know that. Or even, you know, and it's like sometimes you know for a fact that they didn't know that, or that they don't know it to the extent that which they pretend. And I'm not knocking these people, but what I'm trying to explain and convey is that you hinder yourself from growth. You hinder yourself and prevent yourself from gaining sound knowledge. You inhibit yourself from making connections because sometimes that can create a barrier and a boundary between somebody that maybe could either help you, you could help each other, or maybe there could be opportunities for you to network and things like that. And who, let's be honest, likes a know-it-all? I mean, just imagine a teacher that is trying to teach a classroom of students younger than them, or even if they're close in age, doesn't mean the teacher knows every single thing, but they go through rigorous trainings and have to have degrees and certifications to be able to be qualified to teach. So they should, in that setting, be looked at as somebody with more knowledge or close to an expert. So if you are the student and you think you know everything, is the professor really going to try to help you? Is the professor really going to try to make sure that you understand the material fully? No. For example, because you've given off the impression that you know everything, when you need help, they might not take you serious, or they might not be willing to go the extra mile, or they might not be willing to do for you what might be inconvenient for them. Nobody likes and wants to be with, work with, or teach a know-it-all. And here's the kicker. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. I'm telling you this as somebody who learned. and it's a part of life. Like I said, you can grow and things like that. When I was like 16 to 18, your brain is forming new thoughts and new patterns, and you have a sense of, curiosity and freedom and things like that. So like when I was a teenager and blossoming into the shallow end of adulthood and things like that, then yes, it's okay to be confident in yourself, and it's okay to be brave. But I remember, like I said, just being a little too rash and a little too overbearing, and just sometimes dismissing things because it wasn't aligned with what I was and where I was at the moment. But that was not necessarily good for me. There were many lessons that I had to learn because I thought I knew it all. And I was humbled when I realized that I didn't. And in fact, the wisest of us, I could find some quotes from scholars that we all marvel at, but you can look it up to save yourself and myself time, where they say, and it's mentioned that, to be honest, the wisest of us, the people who have a deep sense of wisdom paired with knowledge, realize that we know nothing. Human beings, what do we live to? About maybe 100 years? All right, 110 maybe? And what condition are we in at that time? This earth has been here for billions and trillions of years. What we see back, as I learned in astronomy, is the observable universe. So technically that stuff already happened. We're still unearthing new information each and every day. Science is still growing. So how are you at 15 or at 29 or at 40 or at 8 expected to know every single thing? Now, as I mentioned, I'm not here to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm not here to belittle anyone, but there are so many vast resources out there for you to unearth more knowledge, to continue to learn. You can learn from so many different kinds of people. A know-it-all, for instance, or somebody with a sick mind, they might not think that you can learn from a child. Children are wise. Children are smart. I mean, young children, old enough to talk and form and make sentences and things like that, young. I've worked with them. I know how smart they are. And even though it might be a little more simple and some of them are deep, they can say something that makes you step back and go, whoa, I didn't even see it that way. And it could be over some simple example. So if you can learn from a child, or let's say you're high up in a company or something like that. I've been a manager before. You treat people like crap and stuff like that if you have a sick mind, but you can learn from your subordinates. You might have good technical skills and you might have experience and things like that, but sometimes it's something as simple as, what about doing it this way? Because that's a little quicker. So you should never not be able to gain knowledge from a source of knowledge just because of your impression towards it. That's what I mean when I say that you can hinder yourself from growing and developing and maturing, and you can become a better person by learning from everything it is around you. We can study animals. In the Holy Quran, I think and I believe, I don't remember the specific chapters and verses, but I've read it. It talks about how we can study the bee and we can learn from what they're doing. I think it was the bee. But just to mention again, you don't know everything. And once you realize that, you kind of understand that there's just so much knowledge out there, there's so much to learn and to know and to understand, it humbles you because you realize just how big this universe, this system, this world is. So don't restrict yourself from being able to obtain more knowledge to be able to become smarter, wiser, more knowledgeable because you think you know everything. It'll cause you to push people away. You'll miss small details. You'll hyper focus on things that are kind of irrelevant. Whatever you might not do, whatever you might do, you don't know everything, and it's okay to not know everything. You're not supposed to. And yes, you can become very proficient in whatever it is that you study and put the time and effort in. But at the end of the day, you don't know everything, and you should never be expected to. In a general and a broad sense, be teachable, be coachable, be somebody that can be mentored, be somebody that is willing to learn from whatever it is. As I mentioned, on a food chain, in terms of like a corporate pyramid and things like that, the people way up at the top, they could learn from the people at the bottom. You can learn from the people at the middle, and vice versa. We can all learn from each other, because life is similar yet different, and we all have each our own individual gifts, abilities. We see the world differently. We perceive the world differently, and we should share that with each other, and we should be able to learn and adapt because of that, not restrict and confine just because we think a certain way. It's okay to be confident in your knowledge and your intellect and your ability to comprehend and all of that stuff, but don't miss out on easy fixes, easy sources of knowledge, or even if it's not easy, just don't miss out on the vast wealth that is out there because you thought you knew everything. Because in some cases, life might humble you and you realize you don't. As I mentioned to conclude, I've grown so much when I realized that I did know everything. I kind of felt stupid for when I thought I did, but we grow and we mature and we get better and we get older and we learn and we become wiser and things like that. So I don't necessarily feel bad that I was enamored by knowledge. It just sometimes can plague your mind. But when I realized that I didn't know everything and I didn't know it all, and that I actually could learn from other people, key word, I started to learn. And then that helped me grow so much. And now that's all I want to do. I just want to be teachable. Thank you. Stay tuned. See you for the next one.